I titled this video, My Delusions of Gang Stalking and My Political Views. I am a medicated schizophrenic who is stable, by the way, but I do not let that define me. I'm a proud Jewish American and a U.S. Army veteran who loves his family and friends. That is how I define myself. In the early 1990s, I immigrated from the Soviet Union to the United States. All the kids I hung out with were nice to me. Then an F-117 Stealth Fighter did a low flyby by my apartment building and a beautiful sunset followed. Then the next day, the kids that were nice to me all of a sudden started bullying me. Some with smiles on their faces as though they were coached to do it. The bullying continued throughout the entire 1990s. After the 2000s started, in high school and on, there was some teasing which seemed suspicious, but not nearly as bad as the bullying. From 2007 all the way through 2025, there was delusions of gang stalking. In 2007, I had a delusion that there was an incident of community mobbing where several males and females were upstairs at the mall, saying my name over and over again while pointing downward at me. In high school and the U.S. military and university, there was some teasing but not nearly as much bullying as from 1st through 8th grade in the 1990s. In 2010, for some reason, I had a delusion that one of my childhood bullies, she drove past me in a black sedan while I was driving home from work, and she looked at me and drove off. In 2016, I had a delusion another childhood bully. She showed up with a big gentleman, pointed me out to him at work, at my job, and then left. In 2020 or 2021, I had a delusion that a friend of my childhood bullies, she showed up with two tall gentlemen and they stood smirking, all three of them, at me while I bought Thanksgiving Day food at the grocery store for my family. In 2011, there was a delusion that I went to a career fair at my old university, and there were several gentlemen in black tennis shoes, black cargo pants, and black t-shirts who I thought were CIA. The leader I thought was a young woman with blonde hair, white shoes, white dress pants, a white dress shirt, and a white microfiber trench coat. I must have slipped and fell, and she helped me back up, and I stated, "Thank you, ma'am." She replied, "Don't call me ma'am, you blow my cover." I saw her two more times, once with a gentleman in regular street clothes, jeans, and t-shirt when I was coming back to my vehicle from a movie, and once by herself when I went grocery shopping. This time she was also wearing all white. In 2015 through 2018, I believe there was a hostile work environment at one of my jobs, which I consider to be caused by an undercover FBI, CIA, or Secret Service agent. In 2019 through 2025, after I generally stopped leaving the house except for medical appointments and to see family, I had a delusion that my neighbors started saying my name and going, "Ah." At one point, a neighbor came closer to my house, commented how I was not paying my bills, and then walked back to his house. Another time, a neighbor commented how I was listening to rap before walking into his house. And many times, from 2011 through 2025, I had a delusion that cars were following me, honking at my rideshare or at me in my own car, and then driving off. Yet the rideshare drivers noticed this too. And one time, a rideshare driver spoke up when I said something, agreeing it was weird when I stated it was weird. At one point, around 2020 through 2022, somewhere around there, two females that I knew, one from university and one from an old job, parked a civilian car by my house and started laughing and saying my name over and over again. I thought they were CIA, FBI, or Secret Service. I even had two F-16 fighters just do low flybys, thereby buzzing the house, whatever you call it. In the daytime, the house shook on its foundation. The second one, it was a year or two earlier, flew by at nighttime, making the furnace lose its cover in the basement. Again, I know these are all delusions. One more thing. Starting in 2011, I had delusions that the government controls the entire world using nanotechnology, and the entire universe using time and space bending devices called quantum suppressors. Also, I have had hallucinations starting in 2021 of 6-foot-tall bipedal cats looking at me in an angle from outside the house, as well as an occasional clown or other creepy creature doing the same thing. Now I want to speak to my political views. I support a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, 2 states for 2 peoples. I support a third political party as centrist for the U.S. government that is modeled after Israel's Kadima party, meaning forward in Hebrew. More diversity of thought, like a third party, will help propel our country along both politically and culturally significant lines, in my opinion. Finally, I feel that there should be a Middle Eastern version of NATO to include both Israel and Palestine. One final thing. I believe that Petty Officer 2nd Class Matthew Axelson should have his Navy Cross upgraded to the Medal of Honor. He deserves this because he provided covering fire for Mr. Luttrell, Mr. Dietz, and Lieutenant Michael Murphy so they could better shoot, move, and communicate. He especially provided good cover for Lieutenant Murphy while Lieutenant Murphy made a satellite call for quick reaction force. For these reasons, I feel that Mr. Axelson deserves the Medal of Honor. To sum up, I'm a medicated schizophrenic who's stable, by the way. But I do not let that define me. I'm a proud Jewish American U.S. Army veteran who loves Hashem, his family and friends, and his country, the United States of America. Thank you for your time. Take care now.